Welcome to the Crypto Cafe. I'm your host, Virginia Reyna, and with me is Stef Z. Today we sit down with Chris Kline, COO of Bitcoin IRA, to learn just how easy it is to diversify our retirements into crypto.
How are you guys been?
Good. How have you been?
Really good.
Busy, but you know, that's the crypto markets today, right? Keeping us
Yeah.
busy, trying new things, designing new things. What's new with you guys? This is a new layout.
We're in our new studio. It's not your office anymore.
Last time I think our light went out when we were doing
I
your
do,
interview.
but we just went with it. We just run with it.
We did,
We fixed it, but it worked out.
Yeah, so what's new with Bitcoin IRA?
A lot. So
Yeah,
maybe
because the
just
market's a little crazy right now.
Yeah, obviously. 17, we always call it like it was the party, and then 18 was the hangover. It's kind of what happened in the crypto markets. It went pretty insane for that last quarter into the beginning of 18. And then it slowly started to kind of grow up as an industry. I say that the word for 18 was maturation, whether it was an individual business owner like myself maturing and realizing there's different parts to business, or just the marketplace in general, people that are buying into crypto are doing their homework more than just, you know, flippantly saying, I just want to buy it because I'm missing out on all these gains.
Do you think it was that people matured, or people like got a little bit, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think the fantasy dust wore off, and it wasn't going to just go up forever. It had to have its retracements. It had to, just like every typical asset out there. So it's, you know, for most folks, I think it was just a sombering moment. There's groups that are like the hodlers that are just holding forever, and they know that it's going to be $100,000 Bitcoin someday. And then there's others that are stepping into the space. I think you see a lot more institutions walking into the space and understanding the value add to their business, not just as a, let's put some on the books so that in case it goes up, we look like geniuses, but how can we use this and the technology behind it inside of our business?
So you're really young. How did you get into IRAs? Because I feel like that's something that you
that's
don't
for old
think
guys,
about.
right?
Yeah, you don't think about that at our age.
Well, I know.
We're talking about
You're like, who does that?
I genuinely think we have a retirement crisis on our hands in this country. And I kind of watched it just as growing up, because I'm in that middle generation. I was born in '85. So I'm not quite a millennial, even though they call me one, but I'm not also a Gen X or obviously not a baby boomer. And so what I found was,
like one.
I do, maybe a little bit. Too much time with my grandfather. I grew up in finance. I grew up in international currency. I grew up doing those things. I loved that kind of stuff. And I started seeing just how everything was being bounced out internationally. Then I looked back domestically, because I had a background in politics. I almost ran for politics out of college, but decided, you know, I'd rather not be a career.
voted for you.
Well, you still have a chance someday. I just decided not to be a career politician. Instead, like, figure out business, figure out a way to make wealth, and then bring that experience, which is kind of what our founding fathers did. And saw just in that time period just a breadth of people, and most of them had one thing in common. They were worried about the future, and they were worried about money, and everything was getting more expensive. I'm a father of a 5-year-old daughter, and I just had to set up Disneyland for next week for her birthday. That's ridiculous, by the way. I don't know if you guys have been.
Just went up.
And they keep going up, and they keep going up, and that's
up.
not just there, but everywhere. I don't shop much, thank God. I really get nervous in like those situations. I don't like crowds of people. But you know, you just watch as bills, groceries, whatever it might be. When we were kids, mom could fill up a whole grocery cart with $20. Today, you go to Target and you forget what you were buying, but you still spend $200 somehow. And then when you get home, you realize I forgot shampoo, and that's why I went to Target in the first place. And so that's added to the fact that our whole economy is changing. For my generation, we came out in one of the worst. For my parents' generation, they got their haircuts in the dot-com bubble, their haircut at the 2000 and then 9/11 crash that took place with that. And then 08 just hurt everybody. And we know that folks are having a hard time planning for retirement. It's the last thing you put on the pallet. It's like, I got to pay the bills. I got to take care of healthcare. I've got to worry about savings and background. Retirement's well down the path. You couple that with less companies are doing 401ks than ever before because of rising healthcare costs. And more people are doing Ubers and share businesses where they're getting 1099 income as opposed to a typical W-2 and having that contribution factor.
So with all that happening, how do you get people interested in this? Because I actually saw this study the other day. I'm pretty sure this is what it said, but right now, less than 80% of people only have $400 in their bank. Wasn't that like $400 in an emergency? So how are you in this space getting people to be like, hey, this is really important, especially with something like crypto that it's
well,
like
that's
almost
the double
like you've
down,
got like,
right?
you have like
it's
a double
like, okay,
whammy
you want to
that
talk
have
about
go
retirement
through.
and crypto in the same breath?
Right.
And that's what I think gets their attention, is we're trying to bring something unique to it. So you think about your traditional 401k, it's stocks, bonds, mutual funds, all pretty boring things, like things my grandfather would have me check on the Wall Street Journal before the internet existed. With crypto, it adds a little sizzle to it. And so when you're thinking about saving, you see groups like Robinhood, Acorns, these other companies trying to add a sizzle to saving so that people will actually do it. They have saving programs where every time you spend something, it'll save that little incremental 25 cents.
Acorn app.
It happens very very quickly.
Yeah.
So that's, if you ask at Bitcoin IRA, that's our newest thing, Saver IRA. It started at $50 a month, $200 a month. If you did $250 a month every month since 2013 and you just put it into crypto, now you're getting a dollar cost average. You're not buying it all at once. You're buying it every month at different prices. You'd have $250,000 today. So,
Wow.
and it's not that hard to think of $250 that you can save. That's like one less dinner and maybe one less
But
Postmates
here,
or Uber.
maybe. I feel like everywhere, $250 is a lot of money for
Well,
people.
if you did 50 or 100, whatever
Yeah.
you're comfortable with,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
palatable. You're at least saving towards something
Yeah,
and
or the
getting that
spare
growth
change
fat.
thing, whatever, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That spare change. So it's all demographics when I talk about it. Not the older generation. Our older clients that are 60 plus, they're just like, I've been through so many haircuts in this economy in my lifetime. I've watched it go up and then go down, and who always loses? The retail buyer, right? So they're looking for things to hedge themselves. They know that stocks, bonds, mutual funds are all derived in US dollars, right? If you sell a stock of Apple here in the United States, you get US dollars for it. Crypto, like gold, is an alternative currency that you can put your assets into. And when it has years like 17 it had, and when there's a good outlook for what 18's and 19 it has ahead for it, that's when people say, okay, if I'm going to save for retirement, I need to catch up. So what can I use to catch up that's different than what's out there and add it to that portfolio mix for themselves?
Well, I feel like people
Yeah.
don't even really feel comfortable with the stock market right now anyways. So
Not
it's like,
really, no.
why not just continue to diversify?
Yep.
Well, yeah, and I think there's got to be a lot of trust within you as the company that they're
Yeah.
trusting to tell them some of the things that they might not understand or know what's
Exactly.
happening in the
Crypto
market.
is such a landscape. You guys do interviews with all kinds of things. I've seen
Yeah.
so many of you. You do a great job.
thank
And you have
you.
people that kind of get really high tech. I was at a conference in Orange County speaking in front of a bunch of entrepreneurs. These guys were pretty sharp guys, but some of the guys on the panel just went well over their heads talking about hash rates and shards. And we don't need to get that in depth with our clients. What we do is we try to say, this is how it works, and this is how we made it a turnkey solution. So you don't have to go find a wallet, you don't have to go find an exchange or a custodian. You can go to one place, use our fintech platform, and have access all the time. And as of December, you have 24/7 access to trading. So I remember I told you guys when we
Yeah.
met in June that by Christmas, we did it. It was
Yeah,
done
good
by
for you.
Thanksgiving, and we turned on our trader for our clients 24/7, 365. And the big thing I wanted was, I was like sitting there on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, like, please somebody buy crypto on this thing we
Right.
worked so hard to build. Otherwise, why'd we do it? And sure enough, we got a trade at Christmas Eve for about 50,000, and then on Christmas morning, we got one for about another 100,000. And I was like, all right, now we've officially
Santa has
evolved.
come.
Yes, that was, and my daughter's like going crazy for her Santa stuff, and I'm like, calm down, the trader's working. And they can do it right on their phones. It's people, we've gotten huge feedback.
So if somebody wants to get involved with Bitcoin IRA and like really, diversify, what advice would you give them?
I'd start with knowledge first, so do your homework. We've got a lot of great stuff now on our new site with the new trader and onboarding process. There's some great videos about what we're all about, who we are, our credentials, as well as kind of how the program works, how you move money over, what your accessibility is, what the fees and those things are. So do your additional homework, and then once you're ready, again, with the 24/7 access thing, we turned our front end onboarding for full 24/7, 365 onboarding. So you can establish an account, fund an account, and trade an account without ever having to talk to me if you don't want to, or any of our representatives.
Well, who wouldn't want to talk to you?
Yeah. No, but, and is there people online to talk to? as
Yeah,
well?
always.
Okay, yeah.
Intercom's right there. There's folks. We're available all the time, but we really try to build it to this generation that doesn't want to get bothered and bombarded and have a headache. We don't want our grandfather's broker. We have to call him and ask permission to sell something. And,
See, it's so
and he
funny
goes,
'cause-
why are you selling that? What are you going to do with the money? It's none of your business. This is the economy we live in today.
Right.
So
It is funny though, because for me, and maybe I'm just like a little bit old school, it's like I want to talk to the person and sit there and be like, okay, what are you going to do with my money?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well,
So-
it's your money, and you're in
Yeah.
charge with our platform. That's the cool part too. It's
Yeah.
not like they come and say, "All right, here's $50,000, Chris. Turn it into $5 million and call me." That would be awesome, but I would never turn around those results for them.
Yeah,
and
I was gonna say, if
so
you
they
could
get
do
to
that.
choose. Yeah,
Like, here's
yeah.
all our money.
Yeah.
Exactly. Everybody right now, and you get to choose. So you do your choices, you play with it, and we've got all kinds of new features where you can learn about particular coins.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for stopping by and telling us everything new with Bitcoin IRA.
Thanks for having me again, guys. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's good to see you. For more information on Bitcoin IRA, be sure to check out their website, bitcoinira.com.